Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Amshad Ali, Department of Technology, Southern University. Today we are going to learn about the causes or sources and impacts of pollutions, environmental pollution basically. This is our week 6, or lecture 6 for the 7th semester of program BSc Engineering Technology 7. You can access this lecture at portal.su.edu.pk. So let's begin our today's topic. Okay, first we will discuss the water pollution, its causes and its sources and its impact on the environment. Water pollution basically refers to the degradation of water quality, affects the marine life, and process may include simple addition or discharge of the most toxic and dangerous pollutant. For example, the heavy metals and non-biodegradable and chemical, etc. Pollutants can be grouped as the conventional and non-conventional. The conventional pollutants mainly associated with direct inputs of waste products, mainly humans, rapid urbanization and rapid population increase. The increase in the water pollution is basically a result of the rapid urbanization and rapid population increase. Rapid urbanization is the cause of the rapid population, and water pollution, all the type of pollution are basically the result of the overpopulation. No treatment facilities, lack of treatment facilities. These pollutants may causes, now the main causes of these pollutants are the conventional pollutants, mean the direct input of the waste products, and mainly this process is done by the humans. The first is suspended particle or solid block out energy from the sun, and thus there is danger to the marine life. Suspended particles silt up rivers. As we can see in the previous slide, this is basically the silt. As we can see, these are basically the silts here and here. So the silting process make water undesirable for drinking and for crop irrigation. This is another causes of the water pollution. Presence of nitrogen in phosphorus may causes overgrowth of aquatic vegetation and thus accelerate the aging process of the lakes. Mean the lakes lifespan becomes shorter due to the aquatic vegetation, overgrowth of the aquatic vegetation. As we can see in this picture here, this is the growth of vegetation due to the presence of phosphorus and nitrogen due to the water pollution. Many factories and industries emit the nitrogen and phosphorus in some forms, so they are dissolved with this water and thus they causes the overgrowth of the aquatic vegetation, and in result they can accelerate the aging process of the lakes. The second type of pollutants are the non-conventional pollutants. Include dissolved in particulate form of metals. Some are highly toxic and may accumulate in fish, and this causes a danger to the human life. More than 1300 oil spills of varying magnitude occur in the USA. These are basically the oil spills in the sea. So 1300 oil spills of varying magnitude occur in the USA. So thus they causes the water pollution basically. And it can, and in result, it is a huge and it is a alarming danger to the marine life. It includes such as clay and iron residues from building demolishing process and are more toxic ones. These are the non-conventional pollutants basically. Now water pollution control. How can we control our water pollution? Wastewater discharge are most commonly controlled through effluent standards and discharge permits. Discharge permits basically in some areas environmental permits are allowed to some factories and some industries that you can discharge your waste up to that limit. Sewage is passed through series of steps. If we want to control the water pollution, the main source is to treat this this polluted water like in the form of sewage. This is basically a water treatment plant. As you can see in this picture, this is the whole area is covered by the sewage treatment plant. Different type of phases. In the next slide, we will learn about those phases, how the sewage is treated. This is the slide in which we can see that the water pollution control, how water pollution can be controlled. So the first one is the primary treatment purifies sewage by about 30%. Water can be water or the sewage can be purified by about 30% with the help of this type of a treatment. First, the sewage is passed through screens. Screens are installed and the sewage is passed through these screens. And the next, it is started with the commuters. And then it is transferred to the grid chamber. And after that, it is the last stage is that these water are settled in the settling tank in which the suspended particles, small particles are settled. So this is the primary treatment. By passing sewage from this type of treatment, it can be purified up to or about 30%. And if you want to achieve almost 99.9% purification of the sewage has to be treated by secondary or biological treatment, for example chlorination and evaporation. Chlorine gas is passed from the sewage, or it can be heated, evaporated, and then it is collected in another form. The sewage is changed to vapor form, and then it is condensed, and it has been collected in the form of the liquid form, in liquid form basically. These are the screens. The sewage is passed through screens, then it is come to the primary clarifier. This is the primary clarifier. Then it is passed through aeration tank. Air is passed in the form of bubbles like this, and then it is transferred to the secondary clarifier. This process is basically revised, and after that chlorine gas is passed from the sewage or from the treated water after this portion, and then chlorine contact basin, and then this is the dechlorination. This is basically the dechlorination when chlorine gas is evaporated from the water as well. So this is the secondary treatment. And by doing this process, you can achieve the 99.9% purification of the sewage. So moving on, the second type of pollution is the air pollution. Main sources, as we have learned in the previous lecture, the main sources of the transportation or industries and like others type of the human activity are the sources of the air pollution. Like the major sources are the basically the power, and by the power and heat generation, burning of solid waste, industrial process and transportation, as we discussed. 6 major types are the carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides, particulates, sulfate dioxide, and photochemical oxidants. Air pollution can be grouped as local and regional air pollution and the global air pollution. You can categorize in 2 groups, like the local and regional air pollution and the global air pollution. Like the local and regional air pollution, some smoke has seriously affected more persons than any other type of air pollution. Smoke. Remember, when fog and smoke combine, they can form the smoke, which is more dangerous than the smoke and the fog. This is basically the fog. In the bottom picture, you can see this is the smoke. Another type is ice fog, only at high latitude and the extremely low temperature. When temperature is low and the area is at a high latitude, then there is another type of air pollution which is called the ice fog. In this picture, you can see this is the ice fog, in which the visibility is less as compared to the other type of pollution. As coal economy has gradually replaced by a petroleum economy, photochemical smoke has become predominant in many cities, where the economy has been changed from the coal economy to the petroleum economy. Photochemical smoke, another type of air pollution is photochemical smoke, has become predominant in many cities. All type of smoke decreases visibility, as we have learned, and in the case of ice fog, irritating to the respiratory system. It can damage your respiratory system. Global air pollution mean the air pollution at a global level. Hawaii, this is basically a reference. Carbon dioxide is increasing at a rate of 0.2% per year. Mean that the presence of the carbon dioxide in the air is increased 0.2% per year. It may alter the Earth's climate, mean it can change the Earth climate. Global warming is the result of the air pollution, basically. As you can see, this city, and this is basically the air pollution at the top of the city. So air pollution is a global issue, basically. Control of air pollution. How can we control the air pollution? Use of better design equipment and smokeless fuel in industry and at home also. It is better to use design equipment and smokeless fuels in your automobiles and your industry and even at your home. Maintenance of automobiles, so that they cannot emit the smoke and the environment. Plantation of more trees. This is the main thing. To plant more and more trees. Renewable energy sources such as the wind, solar, ocean currents, biomass, etc. You can prefer these type of the energy sources, to use wind, to use solar energy, to use your ocean currents, to use the biomass. Tall chimneys should be installed. Avoid fertilizer in your garden and try organic products. The third one is the land or soil pollution basically. Land is often used as a recipient for the treatment of waste. As you can see in this picture that the solid waste are done in a landfill. So this can cause the land or the soil pollution basically. Degradation of earth's surface. Main causes are the poor agriculture and agriculture practices, mineral mistreatment or misuse of the minerals, industrial waste dumping, and disposal of the urban waste. Mean that this land and the soil pollution is the result of the other type of the pollution. Soil misuse, soil erosion, this as you can see in this picture, these are basically the soil erosion, the eroded soil, a result of poor agriculture practices. As you can see, there is the lack of the plantation. Removes rich humus topsoil developed over many years. As you can see that this type of the rich soil has been developed over many years. Also, and due to erosion, it is spoiled in just a minute. Also causes an increase in number of suspended solid of the water vein, as there is increase in the suspended solids in the water vein. So this causes the silting process in the rivers and in your canals, in your whole irrigation system. The fourth one is the radiation pollution. All these types has been discussed in the previous lecture. Main sources of the nuclear power generation plants. As we have learned in the previous lecture, that the main source of the nuclear power generation will be the nuclear power generation plants. Other sources are mining operations, experimental research laboratories, even the X-rays emission from microwave ovens, etc. Nuclear radiation, Japan and the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. After that, it was observed that the cancer was the main, and the other symptoms were recorded after 10 to 30 years of the bombardment of the nuclear bombs on the Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. So cancer was the main, and after passing 10 to 30 years, the other symptoms were recorded. These types of waves are not treated by the conventional methods. Must be stored in heavily shielded containers. Heavily shielded containers are required for the storage of this type of these waste. Also in impervious deep caves and abundant side mines. You can also keep these pollutants or this type of pollution in the deep caves, impervious deep caves, which are abundant with the salt mines. Noise pollution, damaging to hearing temporarily or permanently. There will be a loss of the hearing. It may be temporarily or it may be permanently. The effect is variable. The effect of the noise pollution is variable depending upon individual susceptibility, duration of exposure, nature of noise, and time distribution of exposure. So there should be muffling of sound at the source, silencer for guns, etc. Silencer are basically the muffling technique. Protective equipment should be used. Creation of green cover, as you can see here in this picture, this is basically the creation of the green cover, as it has been observed that the noise level reduced by 10 decibels, unit of the noise, decibel per every 10-meter wide green belt development. When you develop the 10-meter wide green belt, it can reduce the sound level or the noise level by 10 decibels. Physical barriers in the workplace should provide the barriers in the workplace. Highway noise can be controlled by constructing noise barriers artificially, basically. So moving on to our next slide, this is basically the thermal pollution. Major sources are fossil fuels, nuclear electric power plants, and etc. Temperature from electric power plant generally ranges from 5 to 11 degrees centigrade. Remember this. An estimated 90% of all water consumption, excluding agriculture uses, is for cooling purpose. The water from the rivers has been used for the cooling purpose of the engines and the mechanical process. This discharge of heated water into waterway often causes ecological imbalance and some kill fishes. As you can see in this picture, that these fishes are killed due to the heated water. The temperature rises in the water, so thus they can't survive in this water anymore. So this is it for today. In next class, inshallah, we will learn about the phases of environmental remediation. So thank you so much. Hope you will learn about this lecture. If you have any query, so let me know at the portal.su.edu.ek. So take care and be safe.